A group of hikers, 4 friends, set out to explore a remote trail known for its haunting beauty and eerie legends. The trail was named Whispering Pines, and locals often spoke of strange occurrences, unnatural silence, distant footsteps, and the occasional glimpse of something far too large to be a bear. The hikers, excited for the adventure, didn't take the warnings seriously. They were young, full of energy, and dismissive of local folklore. But as the sun dipped below the horizon and the shadows grew long, a sense of unease began to settle over them. "Come on, stop being paranoid," Sarah said, laughing as she looked back at her friends. "There's nothing out here but trees." But deep in the woods, something was watching them. The air grew thick with tension, and the usual sounds of nature, the chirping of crickets, the rustling of leaves, fell unnaturally silent. The only sound now was the crunch of their boots against the forest floor. As they continued deeper into the forest, a cold wind picked up, sending chills through their spines. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the trees. Sarah froze, her smile fading. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. "Probably just a wolf," Mark said, though his voice trembled slightly. But the growl came again, this time louder, much closer. The ground beneath them seemed to shift, and the trees creaked as though something enormous was moving through them. Panic set in. They turned to head back, but the path that had once seemed familiar now felt foreign. The trees were closing in, and the air seemed thicker. The growls grew louder and closer, accompanied by the unmistakable sound of heavy footsteps, too heavy to belong to anything they knew. It was then that they saw it. A massive, hulking figure emerged from the shadows, standing just beyond the tree line. It was tall, at least 8 feet, and covered in dark, matted hair. Its face was a grotesque mix of human and beast, with deep-set eyes that gleamed in the dim light. The creature's nostrils flared as it sniffed the air, and its eyes locked onto the hikers. Frozen in place, they could barely breathe, unable to look away from the beast. For a moment, it just stood there, observing them. Then, with a speed that defied logic, it lunged. Mark screamed as it knocked him to the ground, its massive hands wrapping around him with terrifying strength. The others ran, adrenaline coursing through their veins, but the sounds of heavy footsteps and guttural growls pursued them. They stumbled through the dark forest, branches clawing at their faces and bodies, the beast still following them. After what felt like hours, they reached the edge of the forest, collapsing in exhaustion and terror. Behind them, the growls slowly faded into the night. The group never spoke of what happened in the forest again. They left the area the very next morning, shaken, terrified, and forever haunted by what they had seen. No one believed their story. Local authorities shrugged it off as a bear attack, but the hikers knew the truth. Bigfoot had found them, and it hadn't let them go.